So The Sims 4 has this filter system, and on there you can find this style category. When we open that up, we're gonna find a bunch of different styles, from patio to farmhouse to storybook. So I wanna try and build a house in The Sims 4 where each room has to have at least one item from every style category. This might be a little bit difficult because first of all, the filter system definitely has its flaws. And second, there are 26 categories here, which means each room will have to have at least 26 items in it, and who knows how big those items are even gonna be. So I think what my strategy is gonna be is we'll start off by furnishing the interior first. Like, let's say we can start with a living room, and then once we're done furnishing all of our rooms, we can put them together like a puzzle and then see what we end up with for the outside. I'm kind of undecided if I want to let myself pick the items or if I want them to all be random. I'm thinking for the first room it can be random. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's start at the bottom category here, which is garden, and these are all the garden items that we have in this category. I guess I'll just close my eyes and pick. Okay, so scrolling, and let's do this. Oh no. Okay, this is kind of a weird item, and it doesn't have any other swatches. Okay, great. All right, what's next? Next is shabby. This is gonna be items that are sort of falling apart, like any of the items that need to be renovated, cracks in the wall. I'm gonna close my eyes and pick. Okay, we're gonna have a microwave in the living room. I need a counter though, so I'll just put a random counter in the corner for now, and we'll add our microwave. We are not off to a good start here. Okay, next is island. A lot of this stuff is from like Island Living, Jungle Adventure. Okay, closing my eyes again. Let's see. A towel. A towel. Okay, well, so far, maybe this could either be a cottage, like a summer cottage. It could be an island home. Maybe we move this over to Sulani. Okay, next is boho. Taking my item here and oh my goodness. Okay, I have been blessed by the Sims gods. This is my favorite item in the game. This is probably the best we're gonna get. All right, first storybook. This is looking like Enchanted by Nature, Get Together, Realm of Magic sort of items. Okay, closing my eyes and let's pick a bird bath. You know, it's gonna be a weird living room, but I'm not afraid. We only have 20 more items to go. All right, suburban contempo. There's a lot of kids stuff happening in this category, so let's go ahead and pick. This is simple. We just get some shoe boxes from Dream Home Decorator. This can just be storage or something. I'm trying to change the swatches to match as I go. The shotgun category only has a couple things, but like, okay, I guess I'll close my eyes and pick. What are we gonna do here? This big, this massive outdoor lamp. We can shrink it, it's fine. Next is Queen Anne, a very regal style. Lots to get famous going on in here, lots of vampires. Okay, closing my eyes, and we're doing this jazz picture, which again is so massive. Next up, we have modern. There are a lot of items in this category, so I'm gonna close my eyes and scroll for a minute. Let's see what we're gonna do, and oh, a tiny little plant. Perfect. She's so small. Next is the cute category. Not a whole lot of items in here, surprisingly. So let's see what we end up with, and we're doing, ooh, this table from Pastel Pop. Next category is luxe. Not a whole lot going on in this category either. So let's go ahead and pick our item, and we are doing this desk from Life and Death. Oh, I definitely have my work cut out for me today. Next is Art Deco. So picking my item, and we're doing a giant fountain. Okay. You know what? I did put a giant fountain in my last living room in my last video, so I still think I can pull this off. Next category is vintage. So scrolling through vintage, and we're doing a lava lamp. Ooh, the events category. This one could be kind of rough. This is stuff for like weddings, prom, any kind of party that your Sims might host. All right, let's see what we're doing, and we get a bar from My Wedding Stories. Then we have the holiday category, which has nothing from seasons in it, the pack that is meant for holidays. Not a lot of options here, so let me just go ahead and pick. Ooh, looks like we have some bread. I'll put that over here on the bar for now. Industrial. All right, let's see. What are we gonna get here? We get a light, harmless. Next, we have mid-century. This is the item I picked. Again, not a bad pull. Next is mission. in a smaller category again, a lot of base game items going on in here. And our item is going to be this little base game plant. Next, we have farmhouse, which we're gonna see a lot of The Sims 4 horse ranch, a lot of cats and dogs in here. Scrolling through, and our item will be this plant from horse ranch. We're coming down to it. I can see the end. We're gonna go through French country next, and our item is going to be this sink. Maybe this can go behind the bar or something. Cosmo Lux. We're looking at a lot of like mid-century items again here, like Get Famous, Bowling Night. So please don't give me the bowling alley. Okay, scrolling through, and we are doing a bar stool. Perfect. Okay, I'll add those onto my bar. The next category is patio. So our item is going to be these plant shelves. Next up is contemporary. This is also a really big category. Oh, we get this basket. Finally coming down to it, the next category is basics. This is the biggest category yet. I feel like they just put everything in this category. I would argue that he is not basic, but who am I to judge? Okay, scrolling through, and we are going to do this jar from Journey to Batuu. And then finally coming down to it, we have Regal. There's only a couple items here. A lot of them are keys. I think they made this category specifically for the new pack. So we will just add a mysterious key. And the final category is the Africana category. And again, we just got an entire base game update inspired by this style of furniture, none of which can be found. So this will be the one item that I pick manually. This is going to be the item that I pick. So this is the pile of furniture that we have to deal with for our living room. 26 random items here. How the heck am I gonna make this work? So I'm moving our home over to the world of Salvadorada. This is the world that comes with the Sims 4 Jungle Adventure. Okay, I have a plan here. This is gonna be the size of our living room. I want it to be pretty big so that we can fit this fountain. I'll just put that in the corner for now. And then I'm gonna take my room tool, and I'm actually gonna section out an area in the room. Then I'm gonna use the lower platform tool to lower this section down. And then I'll just go and delete my walls. So we're gonna have this like sunken area in the back. And I think this is where I'm gonna make into a study. It'll be the same room. We'll need some stairs leading down, but down here is where we could add our desk, and we can add the plant shelving down here too. My idea with this build is going to be that this family is here maybe for one of the parents' job, and we have a lot of plants to work with already, so maybe our job is plant research. That can be why their desk is like near this plant shelf. We can add more plants in this area too. And you know what, while we do this, I'm also gonna add in my windows. Otherwise, we're gonna get to the end and just be stuck. So I'm adding these windows here from For Rent, and I'm gonna add them on at the other side too. And then since we have to work with a towel, I was also thinking about opening this part up, and then this could be leading out to a deck. I'm not gonna put anything out here from our living room selection, but like this could lead outside, and later that could explain why we've got a towel indoors. Plus the lighting coming in is gonna be really pretty. All right, what else? Maybe we try and get rid of this bar. I'm gonna put the bar near the deck. I'm gonna play around with these swatches too. I think going with a green could be a safe bet. And then also to make the room look a little more interesting, I'm gonna bring out the wall a little bit. We could play around with the colors here too. Like I could add an accent wall. Maybe we add in some columns too. Oh, and then we could take the sink, this random cottage living sink that we have to use. I'm gonna use 2 of them, and they can go behind the bar. That just makes sense to me. We can use that massive base game light to frame around these windows. Those don't actually look too bad when they're shrunk down. I am kind of stuck on the microwave. Like I could add it in here near the office. We just could move some stuff around, adjust the stairs. I personally picked this counter, so I could change it. We could change it over to this one from Horse Ranch so it matches a little bit better. And then what about this bird bath? I do not know what to do about this. We could put it in between like that and use it as decor, and then maybe we make this picture a little bit bigger. This is looking a little crazy right now, but I think once we surround this area with some plants, it could work out a little bit better. That random light we could add in the office. I'm gonna change this swatch over to a brown. This could be a darker swatch. And I'm gonna shrink this room right here so that we have a little more space to work with in the house. Let's move this over here for now. And we can add a room right here. This can be our kitchen and dining. Then we can use an archway like this to lead into the living room. I don't have a door, so I was thinking thinking our front door could go here. That way it'll lead into the kitchen and dining and I don't have to worry about forgetting it later. I'll just make a front entry area like this. And for our living room, we still need like all of the living room items. And finding a couch that's going to match all of these different styles we have going on is gonna be sort of tricky. I was thinking maybe this one from Industrial Loft in like brown or green. Horse Ranch could work, or even Eco Lifestyle. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do Eco Lifestyle. We can do the matching chairs. I feel like we need a big coffee table right here in the center, like this big one from Base Game. This could be where we bring in this table. I'll put it in the corner. It doesn't really match the style, but like we're combining so many of them, it's fine. I am gonna move the key though. Maybe we found this key while we were digging for plants and now they have it here to study it. I'm gonna grab some of these jars and we can use these as decor, maybe around the bar. Oh, the bread, I can't forget about this. I'm gonna put this on the coffee table for now. We can use the Journey to Batu jar on the bar along with that little plant that we picked, and we're coming down to it. Now I just have to use this shoebox, which, you know what, I think I'm gonna section this room off even more. I'm gonna use these from City Living as a divider and I'll go around the office with them. Okay, it's coming along. I can sort of see it now. I do want to add more bookshelves. Like we could add a bookshelf right here by the divider. I don't love this plant. I feel like this one is kind of out of place from the other ones. So maybe we can hide it somewhere. I can just go back here in this corner. And then what do we have left? The lava lamp, the stump, the towel, and the jazz picture. The towel, I think I'm gonna use this as a rug. Even though I just built a whole deck surrounding the towel idea. We're out in the jungle. Maybe they had to improvise by using a towel as a rug. This is a problem for me because it does not match anything that I have going on. Same as the stump and the lava lamp. I guess the lava lamp can go down here in the office, and the stump could have been a project that they were working on outside. It looks like the tops of these were painted, and I did want kids living here, so now we just have to pull everything together. All right, I do think I have pulled it off, so let me show you what I did. We're gonna walk in here from the deck. So we're gonna walk in, we've got our bar right here. It's actually kind of nice that we have the sinks here too, because if Sims are out on the balcony with a drink, they can just go drop them off in there. I also added like coffee and tea. There's a little broom set here. And then going past the bar, we've got this living room space. I actually do really like the eco lifestyle furniture in this room. It weirdly works out with like the natural wood tones. We have the bread on the coffee table. I also added a book with a mug there from the Book Nook kit. We have our weird funky table there. Oh, and I did hide the picture from Base Game behind a curtain. And like, okay, because I added these plants with the purple in them, I do think it matches a little bit better. It's not horrible. So depending on the day, maybe one of the parents really doesn't like this picture, he can hide it just by pulling across the curtain. Then going over this way, we have our big bookshelf. And then going this way, this is an area more for the kids. I did add the stump over here. That's going to be one of their projects. And then because they made that, I also added some more of like the crafty stuff here from Growing Together. Maybe they like to do crafts in their spare time. It's a very vacation home sort of thing. They have the toy box over here from Enchanted by Nature. And then finally going down into the office, this is where we're just studying a bunch of plants. There's plants everywhere, all over the shelves. I think it could be a cool idea if this family just like travels to a bunch of different places and studies the plants in those locations. So a very large living room that we had to make because of all of those items, but I'm happy with it. Somehow all of the styles, even though we have every single different one, it still works together. Okay, before moving on to the next room, I do think I'm just gonna work on the balcony because there's a few things I want to add before I forget. One of them is the floral arranging table. That works here. And then I also wanted to add in a crafting table. I really like this one. I think it's from the Little Campers kit. I love how it just looks like a DIY project. I'll add a couple of those out here for now, and then once we discover more about this family, we can add more to the balcony. Okay, coming over to this room. This is going to be our kitchen and our dining room. But before we do anything, I know we're gonna need stairs to go to the upper floor because we're not gonna be able to fit bedrooms here. So I'll just make a room like this for now, and we'll worry about this top part when we get there. All right, everything is set. I added some flooring. We're gonna change up our strategy this time. I'm going to go in and add all of my essentials right now without picking anything. I'm gonna use appliances from Jungle Adventure, and the counters are from For Rent. I'm adding some Jungle Adventure windows. Here's the plan this time instead. I'm going to manually pick them this time. Now that we have a style, I'm gonna go through each one and we'll pick something that will match our style. And we'll see if we can find something even though all of these are technically different. So starting with a garden, this one's gonna be super easy. I'm gonna bring these back from Enchanted by Nature. I love how they look over windows and stuff. For the shabby category, ooh, we could do one of these rugs at the front door. This one is from Werewolves. I like the torn up texture. And I did add this wallpaper from Jungle Adventure, although I'm not sold on it yet. Next is the island category, and I was thinking about using this divider. This is one I kind of forget about sometimes, but it's so pretty. The swatches on here are really nice. You know what? We could use two from this category. I could also use this fork and spoon. The next category is boho. I'm gonna add in this picture and maybe also some aprons. The thing is, this is already a cluttered build so far, and I like that because then it won't be so obvious if things are mismatching a little bit. From the storybook category, I think I want to use these shelves, but I'm gonna add them so they're connecting to the window like that, and then we can put something on there. And then also from the storybook category, I think I'm gonna take a dining table. Moving on to suburban contempo, I'm gonna keep wanting this studious sort of look, so I'm gonna keep adding some books on the dining table. We could also add this wine bottle holder, and there's some other regular kitchen clutter I can add too. And then for this shotgun category, I think I have to use the same lamp that I used before. I could use it to surround the front door, so we'll just add the same thing, like two of these here. And then for Queen Anne, this could be where we pick our dining room chairs. For modern, there's literally so many options, but I think I'm gonna use this opportunity to add more plants. The cute category is tricky because I feel like it's a lot of kid stuff, but to keep going with the crafty idea, what if we add one of these in here? Just by the front door, maybe the kids take this outside to play with it, maybe it's a new project they made. I'll even add a couple of them, why not? Then from the luxe category, I think I'm gonna use this ottoman. I'm gonna place it by the front door, and I'll add a half wall right here. That way we can add the ottoman in here. This could be like a place where they take off their shoes. I just added some more windows there from For Rent, so all of the windows on the bottom floor should be accounted for. That last item was the luxe, so now we're on Art Deco. I would love to add a mirror here in this corner, so what about this one from Realm of Magic? Next is the vintage category. I think I want to use these pictures from Growing Together. There are different swatches on here, and there's some really fun, like unique ones, so I'll use these. And then from events, I kind of want an island here, but what if we made a unique one with these barrels? Not going to be functional, obviously, for any kind of prep, but I don't hate it. And that knocks something out from the events category. Ooh, and then for the holiday category, we could add this on there. This is just like a cake display. Done. For industrial, this one's kind of hard. Nothing here really matches. I was thinking about adding this here in the corner, but that's kind of big. So instead, I'm gonna add this light. This is from the Crystal Creations kit. Okay, mid-century. Let's do a record player over here in this corner. For mission, we could add this hutch in the corner. Farmhouse, we could add some of these pots and pans, and I do like how that plant is coming over top. For French country, I'm gonna add a plant in this corner. Cosmo Luxe, I do need a rug, and this one from Get Famous does match. For patio, I'm thinking we had some of these cute little pop-up books here. Contemporary, we can add some plates on the table. For basics, could also use some more art, or even something in this corner. Oh, I can filter. Basics is one of the bigger categories, so I can still use this filter to the left while keeping that one. I'm gonna use this shelf here from Adventure Awaits. It has like board game stuff on there and just other things that I feel like would match a vacation home like this. Underneath, I could add this table. Then we have Regal left, so I'm gonna add this Princess Cordelia head. She's as regal as it gets. And for Africana, I'm gonna add this plant. This is a West African aloe plant. Okay, so for the dining room, this is what it ended up looking like. I went in and added a few more things here and there, but really not much else. To the left here, I did add some house plants. These are the ones that your Sims can actually take care of from Enchanted by Nature. Then we have the front entry area over here with some of the kids stuff. And then going towards the kitchen, this is what we ended up with over here as well. I do feel like it ties into the other room. I do like the bluey gray going on, although I do like it with the dark green too. Maybe I'll leave it like this for now. Okay, going upstairs, I've got our room leading up here, but I think I'll finish off the layout. We can do a hallway here, and then I'll add two bedrooms. Like we can have the parent one and the kid bedroom, and then our bathroom could be right here. We'll do a big bathroom. This has been the strangest way to build a house. Okay, I'm gonna add some windows above the ones that I have already. I'll just add some roofing here for now, and we'll bring that over. It'll be Jungle Adventure roofing, obviously. I'll add a door here for the patio. I added windows where they need to be, and now all we're gonna have to do is come back out and roof it, essentially. Okay, for the top floor, let's start with the kid bedroom. So for garden, I think I want to make like an outdoorsy style kid room. So I'm gonna add a bench. For shabby, there are some little toys here and there are some board games. So I think for now I'm gonna add some board games here in the corner. For island, I want to add these hanging over the window, so I'll add 2 of them. But actually also this mirror could be cute. I'm gonna add that there too. For boho, I think I'll actually add a rug. Like this one for now from Strangerville. For storybook, I think we should add a toy, and I think I'm gonna add this freezer bunny. He can just go on the bench for a second, or maybe he'll stay there. That looks pretty cute. Suburban Contempo, I think, is where we're gonna find our beds. So let's use these two. They're from Discovery University. They're kind of similar, but a little different at the same time. For shotgun, again, I'm using the same lantern. Queen Anne, we can add this dresser. For modern, I'm gonna use the filter and find us some art. Let's do this picture from Dream Home Decorator. The cute style has a lot of kid stuff, so let's add in another one of these projects. Luxe is a little hard for a kid's room, I think, unless we wanted to move some of this stuff around, and we can still use the same curtains that we've been using throughout the rest of the house. For art deco, what can we add from in here? We could add some of these pictures from Realm of Magic. For the vintage category, I'm gonna add this trunk. I'm trying to make everything face its own way too, like just using Alt on my keyboard to turn it slightly. This house is very homey, and I feel like doing that makes it even homier. Events has been kind of a tricky one to navigate too. I mean, we could add some snacks in this corner. For the holiday one, this is a toy, so I'm gonna put that on this trunk as well. For industrial, we could use this bookshelf. It's kind of weird looking for a kid room, but also sort of matches the vibe in here. For mid-century, I'm gonna add this table in between the beds. For mission, we can add some book clutter. For farmhouse, I'm adding this basket of towels. I think I've added this plant for French country every single time, so may as well keep it going. I'll add this wall plant from Cosmo Luxe. For patio, I could use these from the Blooming Rooms kit. I still need wallpaper, so we could do some contemporary wallpaper. That looks good in here. It's from Eco Lifestyle. I do need some toys, so I'm hoping Basics has some that I can grab. Okay, yeah, perfect. We can add this bookshelf. On this side, we can add a toy trunk. I'll add some more pictures. For Regal, I added this princess picture, and for Africana, I added this basket on the shelf. And this is what we ended up with for the kids' room. I love the randomness of this build, and I really like how this entire aesthetic kind of just stemmed from picking random items at the start. Like whatever we ended up with from the living room is kind of the way that I've kept it throughout the house, and it just has such a cozy, cluttered look to it as well, which I really love. Okay, let's move on from here. We have the parent bedroom to go, and then we have to do the bathroom. The parent bedroom is gonna have to be extra planty, so starting with garden again, I'm going with this from Enchanted by Nature. And for shabby, I'm gonna pick this chair. For island, I think I'm gonna use this rug somewhere. For boho, we could do this dresser. Ooh, actually, I like this one instead. Let's use this one from the movie Hangout Pack. I love the flower detail. It kind of looks like they're painted in there. For storybook, we can add this table, and then my chair can go here, and that can just be a cute little seating area. For suburban contempo, this could be where we grab our bed. Shotgun, we're sticking to these lamps. And for Queen Anne, I do think I want to add an easel. I'm gonna add that one there from base game. Let's see, for modern, maybe we add in some pictures. For cute, I'm gonna add a plant up here on the dresser. For luxe, I'm gonna add this head sculpture. Art deco, I'm gonna add this plant from high school years, matching in with the purple. And then working this way a little bit for vintage, I'm gonna add this mirror. Actually, I need to cover this railing here, so I'll use that from Growing Together. For events, we're bringing back the barrel. And then for the holiday category, I'm adding in this fruitcake. This family is all about just leaving baked goods everywhere. For industrial, I'm gonna add this ladder shelf. Mid-century, we're going with the hanging plant. For mission, I'm raising this up on the dresser from Jungle Adventure. For farmhouse, I'm using the tiniest plant I've literally ever seen in this game. I'm adding these blankets at the end of the bed for French country. Cosmo Luxe will add this plant, and I might try and use this bookshelf here as my end table from the patio style. For contemporary, I'm just gonna add a few more plants in here. Again, leaving the wallpaper for last. This is such an unpredictable build that I feel like it's just easier that way for me. Going down to it again, we've got basics. I could really use some art in here, so I think I'll use this from Cats and Dogs. For Regal, I'm gonna raise up this base game flower pot. We're not a big flower family here. We need to add in some more flowers. And then for Africana, I think I'm going to add these baskets from For Rent. I might go fairly neutral for the wallpaper. Like, I do like this one. It is a little shabby from Life and Death. And okay, this is what we did for the parent room. Of course, so much going on in here, just like the rest of the house. Very planty, but still got that cozy vibe going on. I would assume they'd be here for a while because there's no way someone is traveling and accumulating this much stuff before moving on to the next place. But we've got 2 back-to-back bedrooms. Now I just have to go and do the bathroom. Then I'll pull together the hallway and the exterior. So for the bathroom and hallway, I think I'm going to use just the 26 items exactly. We're going to take one from every category and see how it turns out. So for the garden category, I'm adding this cute small plant from Enchanted by Nature, and this is a pretty big bathroom, so for shabby, I'm adding these shelves. From the island category, I'm adding these storage bins from Dream Home Decorator, and for boho, I'm adding this plant in the corner. For storybook, I found these towels, so I'm gonna add these. I'll just place those on the wall for now. Suburban Contempo has a regular toilet, so I'll add that. For shotgun, we get our lamp, and for Queen Anne, I'm adding this bathtub from Cottage Living. For modern, I'm adding these bins from Eco Lifestyle. I'm just gonna raise those up onto this shelf. For the cute category, I'm adding this plant. From Luxe, I'm using this lighting. For art deco, I'm gonna try and add this divider behind the bathtub as decor. And for vintage, I'm adding this mirror from the Bistro kit. For events, I'm adding this lantern. Holidays, I can add this little bow on the door. For industrial, I'm using this rug and I'm gonna shrink it down, and I'll change the swatch so this can be a bath mat. For mid-century, I'm adding this shelf. For mission, I can add these curtains. For farmhouse, I'm adding this sink. And for French country, I'm adding this towel. For Cosmolux, we can add a robe on the wall. For patio, we can add these plants. For contemporary, we can add these towels. And from basics, we can add toilet paper. For regal, I just added a key as decor. And for Africana, I'm adding this basket. So this is how our bathroom turned out. I think the sizing in here was perfect for everything we needed. The sizing for the entire house actually worked out really well. And then finally, this is how I pulled together the main room upstairs. They didn't have a TV in this build, so I gave them that. There's a little seating area. They also have a desk if they want to do some more work. And they have a really long hallway with a super long runner over here. Now all we have to do is pull together the exterior. I'm starting by adding some roofing. We're just using hipped roofs here for this. And basically I'm just using the same piece 3 times over. So connecting it, and then I'm gonna pull it all the way across so that they connect. On the house itself, I'm using this trim from Growing Together. And the other wallpaper I'm using is a paneling from Adventure Awaits. Then of course, for such a planty build, we need more plants on the outside. And I decided instead of roofing the balcony, I'm adding these pergolas here from Island Living instead. I'm making a pathway leading from the front to the back entrance. I'm adding in some landscaping. And with all the landscaping and extra details added, this is how our house turned out. I love our little jungle house, and I will admit I did get carried away adding more items. First of all, up top we have our balcony. We have some loungers here, a little stereo, and an easel. The jungle adventure landscaping is really pretty to work with, and I always like combining it with Island Living. I feel like it's such a good combo. For our balcony itself, I didn't add much. I just added a couple more plants to pull it together, some trash cans out here to the side so they're not so visible from the front. And then coming to the back, these kids are going to have a ball here. I gave them a swing set, and then of course I had to give them a jungle gym and a jungle house. So I added this here from Adventure Awaits. They are gonna have so much fun exploring this place. And then for the family, I did also add a picnic table with a barbecue, and there are little crafting items on here for the kids too, like the paper mache kit and the friendship bracelet making kit. Not to mention, this house is literally on the side of a cliff. I love it. So that's been us building a house where each room has to have one item from every style in The Sims 4. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know which room was your favorite. Did you like this super cluttered style? That is one of my favorites to build in, so this is a really fun challenge for me. And if you guys like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.